Good
Now I
morning,
can give you some
guys.
scenarios to how this happens.
Let's
But I
keep
just
on
gotta say,
trying.
with all of these conspiracies, or more to say, with all of these
Game still needs serious updates.
coincidences, I'm supposed to chalk this one up. We in here is
I'm listening
an
to
absurd-
Tim Casson back.
How is a reasonable person supposed to conclude that all of these crazy accidents just happened? And, sorry, some of them could have been accidents. I have no idea. I can tell you this. There's a logical reason why. Assuming they actually did. They said they didn't. I would assume they did. I mean, I don't know how you just claim. Why would someone short JT stuff? June 20. What was supposed to be prison? He can't. Bad bet to me. I wouldn't make a bet myself. That actually hold. I have like 10. But there's some people who probably only care about making money. And they're thinking, look, Donald Trump's going to... I'll think so. Stock is going to go down, whatever his sentence may be. If he can't post on truth, something else. A lot of people do bring up 9/11 and the put options. Have been effectively ended. Do not know that happened. Well, bad news for those that put short sale. Trump media stock price surges after the assassination, boosting Donald Trump's. There you have it. Maybe the reason they said, whoopsie, we filed wrong. Lies there about it. I don't believe that's true. I don't think you could cut it options. And then after a price surge, correct filing, it seems like all they really did was an SEC. That wouldn't change where they actually fought. They actually filing. Whoever made that deal, you're like, no way. Well, they certainly have some money. I know for sure. Yes, I really. All of these things so perfectly right. Makes sense, doesn't it? I wish we could see. I suppose. We'll never. In entertaining the idea, problem with conspiracy, fair use stuff. What I mean by that is that you can conspiracy to any direction you want. Talk about them. You can make up a million one conspiracy. Problem. People have decided that the movie was fake because the US was trying. Have just opted for logic. But you could make up a million one reasons why the US was fake. You argue the real conspiracy is it goes, and they put on a false conspiracy that we didn't, because they need to create a degree of skepticism because of what they actually discovered. No full reign of filing voice. They want people to, so they chase the conspiracy theory. Basically, they're making conspiracy theory. Long story. You see, I'm kidding. The idea is with this. The left right now is arguing that Donald Trump staged that he's wearing a gel pack in his hat. A blank is fired. He smacks the gel pack and fires. They intentionally shoot and injure people in the crowd to people, right? It's a conspiracy. Actually, I gotta point this out. The left doesn't seem to have any answers as to how people actually died that day. Like, Comprador lost their life. It's not. And several people were seriously injured. But the left seems to omit that fact of, like, where the bullets go. Where the bullets go. Into innocent bystanders. But the problem with conspiracy theories is that could the conspiracy could it be true? How is it the Secret Service allowed Donald Trump? You could very easily argue. However, I don't think that makes sense. Me, conspiracy theory just walks down the not where we can. That is to say, the leftist conspiracy theory about Donald Trump's involvement makes no sense because of chaos that is lack of a proper explanation. If the conspiracy went all according to plan, they would have really have had contingencies to explain how these things happened. But they're like, the roof was sloped, and none of that makes sense. Plus, the idea was on a scapegoat. None of that makes sense. They could have, if the idea was for Trump to fake an assassination, they could have done something. They could have easily have had something. That's how so it's just But I point out this. Thinking about most extreme. In the year 2008, Ron It's all of these people, anti-establishment. They were all rallying against the government. First, at the end, people are going to vote. So Trump is selected among the others. B. Democrats and the uniform evil bad guys who keep fumbling. Attacking Donald Trump keeps winning. And you end up with, as a show, Lou Bradkowski or Liberty Caucus. A country that was concerned about unity and the American flag. Now all of a sudden, rallying but became all odds to defy. That was the plan the whole time. That's the problem with conspiracy. So I certainly don't think. I think what we're looking at with the deep effects on Donald Trump. You can call it a conspiracy, but not theory. That's the distinction. When you start theorizing and making guesses as to what, that's when you get into weird territory. Basically, make it whatever you want. I'll put it this way. I think Trump derangement syndrome. Already seen evidence that prominent individuals. That's terrifying. And lastly, we know that there are people in law enforcement. However, these people have stated in previous stories that they fear they have to flee the country. I think these people would prefer not. All of these things line up, and it is not a conspiracy theory. It is a simple hypothesis of who has motive to investigate. The idea is anything speculative. Reality. Call it divine intervention. You could call it not harm. Trump survived. I don't think he faked getting faked. I think someone, and we can call it itis, let it happen on purpose. What I'm saying is, I don't speculate conspiracy territory onto conclusions based on logic. You can argue that there were agents, and this guy was MK, whatever it is you want. I'm not going there. I can tell you is, there's no official story right now. This is a fact. There is no official story. If not come out and said, investigation determined that this man was able to secure this for this reason, and it was no official story right now. Logical conclusion is that someone capacity. Which then brings us back to how do you get lucky? This was all just a whole lot of accidents keep happening. This will likely rally. Case said 1 or 2. We are looked like a major, importantly, valid. That's the case. You know, I was thinking to myself the other day, if it were a conspiracy, there's just like Hillary watching Trump grab his ear and fall down, and she sits up, and Trump stands up and raises his fist, and she goes, "No! No!" Not that I think that actually happened, calling on YouTube. I think that would be a really funny bit. Like she's sitting there sipping, They failed again. They can't stop this man. Yeah, I don't know. Plot armor. Donald Trump's the main character, so he can't be stopped. If that were the case, man, I have no idea. But again, the only thing that really matters after all of this is not whether or not this company. It's all water under the bridge at this point. I shouldn't say it like that. That's the why that we ignore. No, we should investigate and figure out what really went on. I'm just saying, now, took a shot. I'm going to say this figuratively because it matters the left. Lose their minds. It didn't exist anymore. They took a shot at the king and they missed. Sank from the water. The king can't miss. And I know they're going to, like, Tips calling Trump the king. That's it. But you're not, there's no more opportunity to tell Trump, shore up his defenses, bring Dan Bongino. Donald Trump needs to watch out for this is the scariest thing. The scariest thing is whatever was supposed to happen on that
Didn't.
they wanted to they wanted people to see. So, someone asked this question. Why was the photographer using a high-speed frame rate that's fast enough to catch a bullet? The argument is that I don't believe that. I don't believe that you have to be careful on this stuff. But it's pretty wild. Some people have said that CNN was broadcasting around. I don't know that that's. Are they? I don't know. And then so there's some rumors going around that major cable networks broadcasting. Any sense? Hard for me to say. But my friends, we'll wrap this one up here and live. Read some more super chats and next hour. Smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. Over to timcast.com. Back live. Wrap up this segment for now. Follow me at Timcast, and see you all in the next segment at 4. Right. And you guys press the record button. It didn't work. That's the control. Here's your super chat. Oh, we'll go to super chats. And what's up next? We've got the. They changed the cover magazine. Oh, you can believe it because they were talking about this photo because that is just. Not respond. All right, bear with me for a second. All right. Tyler Bokamp says, is Elon speaking tonight at the RNC? I don't believe he is. All right. Film Flan says, local Pittsburgh PA News. PA putting snipers reported among other or Trump. Correct. And we also have a statement from briefing or they knew. I'll just do it. Alright, let's see what we got. Matrix has me says, Tim, Google doesn't let me say what I want, so I'll say one needs to focus on their health. Here's Chef that focus. You're here, sir. Mr. Laxative says, Tim, when is the app coming?
Mr. Laxative.
The Apple Store and Apple Let's. Nick C says, Trump locked Ultra. Do you see the G Prime? Where it's like Trump Maybe the pony swats it. All right, everybody, let's jump into the story. We'll talk about what's going on with the media. All right, we've got this from Time Magazine. Behind the cover, interview with the photographer. I want to read this story for you, and I'll read the story for you. Show you what Time Magazine was saying about this image of Evan Vucci, one of the most iconic photos in the world, history of humanity, American history. Time Magazine posts the new Time cover. Nancy Gibbs and the tragedy, opportunity of this American moment. Wait. It's August 5th. August 5th. They took this photo off of Time Magazine's cover. These people are. This is what evil looks like. Photo that you see. Magazine still on their website. Here's the new.
Because they're assholes?
I don't know. At the Sierra, I mean, people are changed. What is this? Yeah, how easily you're swayed to change. A historical image. Everyone's asking, why did they change the cover? Because they're evil. Because of this story. Editor at major news outlet tells me to bury iconic photo of Trump after assassination. We talked about this yesterday. They said that the photo helps Donald Trump. For that reason, we cannot. Trump will use it to win the election. Photo taken by a journalist. American people. I'll take you back in time. Read to COVID. Donald Trump was giving daily briefings. All of the media was, and Trump's media announced Trump was a liar, and they were going to stop covering his COVID. Liars. Lie about everything. These. What's the right word for it? Propagandists know that Donald Trump has the truth. Shot in the head, surviving. Client raised his fist. Evan Vucci got the most iconic photo moment and one of the most iconic photos. Wonder what he must be thinking. They decide they will not show him. Truth. As you are seeing of it. Blood on his face. That's the truth. Don't want to. Acted upon their desire to spend. Try to. Here's the story from Time Magazine. They say Gibbs, a former writer, editor-in-chief at Time, is the director at the Shorenstein Center for Armor Festival. Look at this image. Just he stands. American flag hanging. Site of the Trump. Time photo illustration. See the actions that day. Strong. Country born by breaking with a king. Nation faces test conflict management affecting the Constitution itself. With all of its convictions and compromises, balancing local versus federal power centers, civil war exposing fissures, democracy's bedrock, and economy. Battles over rights and responsibilities, suffrage, prohibition, isolation, prevention, then the serial upheavals over justice, multiple marginalized black, female, gay, trans, each era tasked with not only choosing its fights, also deciding. Our current crisis is division, once again manifest as violence, Feels shocking, but not sudden. Dread has been deepening for years, a defining quality of the century that action that ended in a tie. As our information streams filled with acid, at grace and trust, Americans have always disagreed, exercised muscles of reasons and passion, pressed for progress and a vision of the common good that we don't. We care more about freedom or equality. Leader in the world or tucked in a stately with oceans to buffer us. Figuring that out, part of the democratic challenge, the information technologies designed to connect the world, conspire to dismantle the values. Blah, blah, blah. Why the different photo? Where are we at? There's a video of Joe Biden. There's Donald Trump. According to Pew Research, 8 in 10 Americans think people get different facts depending on what news. 10 out of 10 should be. All but guarantees that crisis and conspiracies.
According to Pew Research.
And interesting assessment. I'm not going to read your. Except for the one where Donald Trump is raising his fist. Behind the cover, interview with the photographer of the Trump. This should be interesting. Evan Vucci, who got one of the most early Saturday evening. Series of photos and videos depicting a shocking moment appeared across our attempted assassination of former President Donald. Frame by frame, we saw Trump, 78, first grab his head with an expression of confusion as gunshots rang out. Then photos of Secret Service agents piling on top of Trump behind the podium for the crowd of confused onlookers, followed by images of the swift movement of Trump. Now we edit. One of those photos, taken by Associated Press photojournalist, chosen to appear on the cover of Time, the historical significance, the clear composition, undeniable tension, all appearing in a singular image. Here's what Vucci has to say about the moment. Slightly edited. It was Vucci's past experience that prepared him to capture the iconic image. Vucci has been with the AP for almost 21 years, has covered everything from the pocket of Afghanistan wars to the Trump presidency to schools. The protests following the death of George Floyd, his team was awarded the 2021 Pulitzer. The situation where that vast experience absolutely does prepare you. You have that experience behind you sort of allows you to remain calm. First time I was in that situation, I had to keep my head, able to think, able to compose pictures. I think all of us were there, just stayed in the moment, stayed on the story. I kept saying to myself, down. Okay, what's going to happen next? On here. What's going on there? Donald Trump is in position. Initially, Vucci was photographing from the back of the photographer buffer, front of the rally stage with his one lens. As he heard the gunshots, he sprang into action. He knew right away what it was. First thing is like, okay, I gotta get to the stage. Vucci moved closer with his wide-angle lens, captured pictures while thinking ahead, including anticipating what route the secrets of Trump was. Vucci sprinted to the other side of the stage. Trump started to stand and pump his fist. Vucci ran to the corner of the stairs while Trump was preparing to exit the stage and took the photos now been shared. Amazing. That the photo that he got, and there are others, wow, look at this. This photo that he got, absolutely. I love it. That's crazy. Wanted it on the cover. Here's a guy that said, get the photo. Campaign rally site for Republican presidential candidate. President Donald Trump is empty. Still using his photo. I can totally believe it. I can totally see it. This is the game they play. Told us they were going to do it, and they. Truth is bad. Truth shall. These people don't have access to. Oh, exactly what we. They pull. Maybe I don't know. Hey, I don't know what happened, but they better have an explanation for this. stupid argument. Like, oh, it was chosen prematurely, and everyone was a little bit too excited about it, but this is not the way we normally go. I'm the cover. They knew right away they wanted. Then some crackpot scumbag, evil man came out and said, "Don't let the American people know it's real." I'm sick of it, man. I am sick of these twisted, malevolent people. It's not about liking Donald Trump. It's about that's what happened. That's the picture of what happened. I want you to know. Is this photo fake? Altered in any way? Nothing. What's doing? This. Donald Trump. Because it's good. If the truth is suppressed, that's been. I'm going to wrap this segment shorter than. Smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share this show with your friends. Over to Timcast. Directly, those that are still watching live stream. So we do it. For everybody else, we'll see you all over at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com. Well, thanks for hanging out. Wrap that segment up. We'll get some super chats, and then I want to talk about the current polling. Dang well for Donald. Which Stream Deck not Deck 4. So let's grab some more super chats. Smash that like button if you have
Damn
not
super
already.
chats.
I can do. Maybe I can do. All right, I'll stop. Okay. Walt Whaley said, you advertise your coffee taxi cab, a company in 2 college towns in city. I mean, maybe. But I gotta be honest, it's so hard to organize that kind of stuff. Like someone that and saying, hey, here's the thing I got. That could work, but it's just not in front of us. It's hard. Bales R Us says time is stupid. That issue would have sold fire. That photo on it, I would have purchased it and got it vacuumed and graded. Insane. They seriously abandoned. Have they explained? I think they did.
You're dealing with
Maybe
guns.
they're doing 2 covers. 2 covers. Why did they? What? They go around. We'll make Timcast magazine, and we'll put that photo on the cover. Yeah, the Gucci person. Mark Penioff, owner of Time Magazine, is a major donor of the. That's just it. Kingbird says, don't be too mad, nobody reads Time. Photo was already in everybody. True. Should be in every. And it's not about whether people. It's about the principle of truth about what happened. You know? Care about the truth. Alright, Vermin Infested says, I didn't like Donald Trump before they made him president. Then I see what they did to him and I started to like him. Now that they've taken extra measures, I have nothing but passion for them. I completely agree. 2016, I was like, not interested. And then foreign policy stuff I thought was pretty good. And then eventually I was, man, alone? Like, jeez! Leave Trump alone!
Leave Britney alone!
Edub says, was just on my slanted roof working and got hung on the lip. back with wasps.
Mm.
On the, and then I was like 10 years old down the street, and a yellow jacket just went in my face.
Yellow jackets are assholes.
They were worried I was going to die. Swelling. Yeah. Me and the venomous sex. Redlines has fallen one of the better games I've played, and I always appreciate you referencing it. Have you ever played the Metal Gear Solid games? I think it would be an easy favorite for you. It predicts a lot of what we. I played Metal Gear. I played Bionic Commando on Nintendo. That's fun. I run around Appling hook. Hacking in the game. That was a fun. Let's jump to the next story.
I'm trailing inflatable tube man.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Hill, Trump leads Biden nationally and in 7 swing states. The data is beginning to, and where it matters most, Donald Trump is skyrocketing. They took a shot at the king and figured it out. And they missed.
They missed.
Skyrocketing the poll. Many people are already predicting this means Trump cannot. I don't know if that's the case. I warn you all, don't count your chickens. They hatch. Everybody who wants to see victory in November, go out and vote. The biggest ramification for the attack on Trump's life is going to be down ballot. Because now we're going to see every single Trump supporter cast their ballot, and they better. And at you guys, don't be lazy. Because this means Republicans get 200 or maybe. This means we can actually pass some legislation and clean up this mess. We can avert social decay and disorder if we can get it. The Hill says Emerson College poll sponsored by Democrats for the Next Generation and published Thursday found 46% of registered voters say they support Trump, compared to 42% chose Biden, and 12% that are undecided. However, that Biden support dipped by 2 points since the poll was taken earlier this month while Trump was the same. Recent polling shows Biden losing support more significantly than Trump, gaining since the attempted assassination. Now hold on. We're talking about different dates. I want to see a week after the assassination where polling goes. I think we're going to see after the fact, starting with results that have tracked today. So what I want to stress, if a pollster asking people today, or I'm sorry, yesterday, today and Thursday, days that matter most. News has, Wednesday is peak news day. Most people from the news, I want them to ask as of yesterday and today, what do they think? I think I don't think it'll be too big. I think it'll be a point or two. Some people thought it would be a massive skyrocket, but I think it will. The survey was conducted after the attempted assassination of Trump over the weekend, where a gunman took aim, grazing his ear with a bullet. Poll also noted that since March, Trump has gained 1 point in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, Michigan. Well, pause you right there. Got this. Emerson polling. Pennsylvania, 5. Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Trump up 7. Georgia, 6. Nevada, 5. North Carolina, 7. Let me pull up. Listen. 270 to win. Current 2024 map. Road to 270. Says Donald Trump has secured 251. Democrats 226. However, let's plug in Emerson's polling data. He's got him up 5. That's not a toss-up. That's plus 5. That's. I mean, all of these are Michigan. We'll call that likely red. Well, yeah, we'll call it likely plus 3. With margin of error, we'll call it likely. All right, lean. Let's see, we got Wisconsin's 5. That's strong. 5 points. I guess it's fair to say because of margin of error. Likely. Not that it matters all that much. Arizona's plus. That's.
It's a done deal.
6. Oh, they've already got Georgia for Trump. got Nevada and North, and those are 312. As of the polling data right now, 312. That's nothing else. Right now, we look at it, we plug it into 270 to win. Donald Trump has. CNN said the other day he was looking at 330 based on. Then Hampshire is probably good. It may actually be the election, and that's massive. I don't know what else they can do. It's 316. I don't know where they came. I think they said Virginia was. It's competitive in Virginia, and then Nebraska. This was the assessment. 330 elections. Let me show you this. 538. Pressure right now. Is favored to win the 2024 presidential election. Using polling, economic, and demographic data to explore likely outcomes, they say Biden wins 53 times out of Trump wins 7 times out of Maybe saying, my friend, BS, there's no way Joe Biden can win. They're trying to remove him. He's probably not going to be the nominee. How is it possible? Shadow campaign. Does it matter? They have one scenario where Biden gets 510. One scenario where Trump gets 520. That's the stupid. They have 4 where there's no winner. Then you may be saying, I don't know if I care about all this 538 prediction nonsense. Nah, it doesn't mean nothing to me. If you think you've won, you've lost. Hillary Clinton. That's when people get. And some people have pointed out, like maybe all of these
mean to do that.
stories about Trump winning and his polls surging are to lull supporters security do nothing. A Democrat. I can tell you this. Man, I can take a bullet for you. It's certainly. Those of you that are really peanuts, of course, register vote. Ask locations that are. You can tell your friends. Gotta go out. Can't just one simulated election. You can see 525 scenarios where Biden wins, 471 where Trump wins. Get 200. I don't know how you get those numbers. To be completely honest, let's take a look at the polling data. You're starting to get some polling data in, but I am not satisfied with it. Emerson says that their polling was from the 15th to the 16th. So that means Monday and Tuesday. Right? That's not enough time for the news to hit. Now, to be fair, I think most people heard the news to some degree. Time to absorb the detail and to see the photos. I knew a lot of people were like, oh yeah, I heard what happened. We were hanging out in Milwaukee. I was one woman heard saying, I don't care about any. This is the day it went down. So what I want to see is polling from the 17th and 18th. That's the peak of the news cycle where it goes from. See that? Give me that. And I'll agree with it. Take a look at this. Emerson's data from the 15th and 16th has Trump up 4 points. I mean, that's exactly what we thought was going to happen. What did I say? Frank Luntz said, assassination attempt is going to turn Trump supporters into Trump, giving him a boost of 1 to 2. Agree. But I actually think the polling data will increase. And we'll get there. You've got Reuters Ipsos for the same day with +2. You've got Forbes the 13th, 15th, +2. And I think that's too close to Newsmax. Emerson, still I think is too close, but they have Trump. Gore is massive! Wow. Go back a month and Trump is 6. Spread right now is 2. Margin of error. 2016, Hillary Clinton was up 3 points. Last time around in 2020, Biden was up 8. Y'all better not just. You're gonna have to go with it. Otherwise, the polls don't mean anything. If everybody thinks this is the game, it's where Donald Trump wins, I assure you, matter of whether or not main focus, there is one thing you can see. The appearance. Make sure that you see it. He's got a star on his ear that's playing. It will. Whenever he does an interview, always tell them. I did the interview with Trump. They actually laid out how they want. We have these curtains. And they basically said, we like the curtains, we want to put some American flags up, and then we'll have Trump's here. We're like, yeah, that's totally. We want the person to look on camera, at camera. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And they came in and they were looking at the cameras. I framed some of it. They looked at it and they were like, pretty good. And we're always trying to make sure everyone properly. I imagine from now on, Trump's team is up. Like, we want the camera pointed. Because if everybody, every time they see that star, they will be reminded. So we'll see. We will see if. I'm going to wrap this one up and keep this one a little bit short. Thanks for hanging out in the second. Got a little bit more. I'll read some more. For everybody else, youtube.com/TimCastIRL. 9 to 8 p.m. live showing you. Watching, I'll grab some of your bits and until next time. Alright, we'll grab some super chats. I may post one early because the work button didn't work. So. What is this? Jason Butter says Timcast should wear an ear patch in solidarity. Coldwater says, Tim, if you are free speech, unshadow ban me on Timcast. If you are shadow banned on Timcast, camera. The reason I would do it. The only actual rule. So, if you, the way I usually do it is, if I notice you're spamming, which posted the same emojis or a few times, and I can see it in the chat, I see like, I will then wait to see if you spam 3 or neutral. Because spamming isn't free speech, is actually obstructing me. And so I am not going to be going into lists of banning anybody.
Hello, Gamer Cats.
That's it. We're doing the show, and so same thing over and over and over again. You are new. Shadow man. It is not fair to everybody else that you're loading up the chat with Gore. And so it really is about spamming. If it's like a single sentence where you say, Donald Trump needs to do X, and it's just say it several times. Talking about people, but like fire, and then write, it's time to do X, Y, and Z in all bold caps, and then 50 fire emojis. So it takes up 50. They do it every 6 seconds, which is great. And I'm just like, you're having a conversation, pressing anything, you're talking to people, you're just trying to block other people. I can't speak to, because other people have access to shadow banning accounts on the channel, but is not. Okay. Alright, grab a couple super chats here. Thanks Senpai says, if the SS photoed the bad guy hours beforehand, how possible was it that facial recognition was used and perhaps scoured his own? Anthony Sear says, if Donald Trump can, through his amazing charisma and physical courage, lead to a chain of marginally good presidents, would that not make him the greatest American president? If he can fix these things, we have the corruption, and then the election system is fixed, and we get. Itch says, been thinking about upgrading some of these people to having Trump arrangement psychosis. Someone posted in chat a bunch of fire emojis and Chicago. Now, I don't really care if you do it nonstop like 10 times, then you get it. I'm Mafia Mike says Timcast Discord is that's where it is in. I become a member at Tim. I'm gonna grab one more super chat, and then I've got to solve this. Anthony says it's only a matter of time until Time Magazine becomes. In my city of 50K people, the post office only. It already is insignificant. Just a matter of principle. Okay, everybody should show the vote. Who is the truth? For a magazine with any viewership to say we won't show it. All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap things up here a little bit earlier than I did throughout the early in the week because the record button didn't fix my stream. We'll wrap it up, and thank you all so much for hanging out. Smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel. Share the show with your friends. Head over to timcast.com. Join us. Remember, I think we may have only a couple tickets left. We're probably going to sell day of. I got 85 chairs. Not with my L. About what's going on. We'll hear from Mike Lindell himself. And for all of you who are fans and support, it's possible. Thank you also. Members, Ask Brew Coffee. Type it up there.
Well, he's wrapping it up. Okay.
Here's what I think about what you did. You'd like to fire off, as you've done so far, about your fury at how disgusting Republicans, how inhumane they are, how they never have any empathy, blah, 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 blah. And then you yourself actually are exactly the person that I do. You are inhuman. You are somebody who seems almost gleeful. A young firefighter, family, wife and children, who he was protecting as he was shot dead. He deserved what was coming to him because he went to a President Trump rally. Now he was President of the United States 4 years and maybe again. You sound all gleeful. Listen, I'm sorry. That makes you, frankly, despicable.
Giving this man what he wants. There's been numerous on him, but especially in the past, now it's obviously got to.
He's being a douchebag.
The freedom of speech argument, platforming. Even I think he's somebody who has, it's event. I won the debate. I never messaged him at time or link or anything, but I win. This is kind of like intellectually that you now obviously, and it's too bad, honestly, because I want people they have hated. I want online is the best. I think this year or whatever, maybe. I think that these things should be set out in the open, the underground. Potentially, I need very long. He's a leftist, Democrat, or whatever. As far as I'm concerned, who has some debate skills. He does. Doesn't. He has some debate skills. He has charisma.
He's got the Riz.
Platform him. In fact, if you're going to give the guy any credit at all, it's the fact that he's one of the few people, a lot of his opinions, who go on other people's shows, debate them. That's been his only saving grace. Our career move on. And he's constantly debating whatever podcast, depression phase, whatever the case is, happy to go into anybody's. Got to give a young man at some age a lot of credit for basically picture looks. Anyway, you know, there is Ben on rant is ever since Trump incident, and sure you can be hate farming for views and stuff. Said a lot of things, you know, and making a lot of opinions, but he's allowed to have those. I wouldn't call for platforming, and I'm not calling for it. I want these people out. I want thinking. I want to do. But some of the things that, in particular, kind of have people who do not like Trump. That's fine. Half the country. You can say whatever, almost whatever you want about the guy. I can disagree with you. You can disagree. People seem to draw the line is Saturday. Marty Oswald tried to get famous.
I like that.
Who took the life? Brave firefighter, healing his wife and daughter. Wife lost her husband, and daughter lost her mother, and that has absolutely nothing to do. Dude, for all you know, maybe his daughter was a Trump fan and Democrat. You don't know that. You don't know that. And so he's like, all right, I'll take you, you know, something like that. You know, or maybe he was completely apolitical. People forget that most of this country doesn't vote. It's just trying to get by. They're just trying to pay. Or if they just do. Most of my friends don't care about politics. Why they're my friends? I want more of this stuff. Relax. Okay? The internet took a lot of umbrage saying things like, oh, you want, I'll buy you a front row ticket at the church. Making jokes about the guy who passed away, saying, ha ha ha, Trump lost a voter. Funny. But these are edgy jokes. He's allowed to make them. People confident in it. He lost a few followers. But the problem is, this rhetoric, this behavior has done nothing but reinforce. You know, he started going on his spell, he was 100 followers, and basically, I was stagnant before. $1 a day. Sunday, the day after the event, he loses 1,200 followers. Then, talking about him, everybody puts him on their shows. Oregon, he's right back the next day, and then 2 days up 3,500. And then if I look at this, up another 2,000 from. Yeah, he's up another 6,000, 7,000 followers. That is what's scary to me. That part is scary to me. Who are these people? Like, I was on Tim's show last night, and he basically said, I can't platform this. Say heinous. I can't risk my whole. That's, you know, some people pop up history. But it's a very real thing, right? You see this. So since he's gone on this rant saying, dear Elon Musk, why are there ads on Destiny's profile? I believe this page is now in violation. Hateful content. Standards on X. Because they said, oh, this is the effing R word that lost his life at the Trump rally. Lamau! So he tweeted, guy, again, was just defending his family, and right?
Man, he is very skinny fat.
I mean, he's allowed to make these jokes, okay? But by the way, these are the very same people.
Why are they always so weak?
These are the very same people that cheer when
it's
other
like a
people get
beta.
Like, I don't care that that's tiny. I don't care that he got. I don't want him to deplatform. I don't care that he got. These are the same people that laugh when it happens. I don't care. Hashtag. Don't care. I'm deplatform. because I don't think that that's smart. You should be taking these views off the internet. But after this post, Elon replies and says, yeah, probably. You can see your account Destiny has been temporarily, so not even permanently, temporarily paused for ad sharing revenue. In fact, there may be a breach. Account was funded policies. And then he said, actually, wait, blah, 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 blah. Actually, wait, Elon, is this an user-friendly platform? Equal rhetoric, or at least, right? Based on your tweets and actions with yesterday, the Rubin report also removed advertising. This is why I don't get into the people should be demonetized stuff, because everyone should be able to make a living. I'm not trying to, really, I don't care that he got demonetized, but, it's extraordinarily rare for me to create like a. Elon Musk replied to Destiny correctly and said, not me, the advertiser. So the advertiser said, hey, we don't want to be on anymore. Then Kick, the platform, as far as I know, Mr. Tiny has been banned from permanently banned. Anything, which is and he was banned from Kick, quote unquote, hate speech. Again, I think the have changed. The rules have changed. What people are willing, what people accept in terms of behavior, and this mocking a guy who's just protecting his family, selfless in his life, is just a bridge too far for a lot of people. And Kick, which is just a family platform, not with you. You're banned. Goes on Piers Morgan and triples down. And Piers Morgan presses Destiny on his rhetoric regarding Trump's. Someone was sorry that makes you. I'm sorry that makes you, frankly, despicable. I don't know how Piers is. Also calls Mr. Tiny inhuman. Although I don't really care for Piers Morgan. I don't like him. Fighting with him. Mr. Des Tiny has had like an amount of ways to kind of just split a little bit. Certainly for years, you could have said this stuff up all you want. Zero consequences. Again, I don't want people to have consequences. 99.9999999 each. Consequences sometimes happen. In general, right? You say something people don't like, they show up at your work. You say something that you call somebody this or the other thing, and things go badly for you. Okay, so there are consequences for speech. Again, this is a leftoid that now has been banned from Kick, has lost his Twitter position. I don't know how much he's making on Twitter, probably a couple a month. That's gone, and he's clearly spiraling. Also, he's definitely just hate farming. That's been his whole thing. If you know Tiny's career, you know that people clown on him because that his wife dudes. I don't care about any of that stuff.
He's fucking beta. I'm sorry, he is. I don't like to throw that around, but I don't care. He's a cuck, and he throws it, and he's skinny fat. He's prototypical beta.
But this guy really did some damage to
Stereotypical.
They don't want to lose their money. Guys like, well, Trump did this. His entire defense for being completely vile, basically, been. What about us? Like, oh, look at all these other people that are saying bad. That's not a defense. That's literally called whataboutism. But that's not. Destiny has never been. He's a very good debater, not a master at it. But he's he's saying he's doubling down. He doesn't care. He's raging. I mean,
he's a douche.
Look, I don't want him to be platformed. I want his opinions out there in the open, but I'm more by the thousands of people that have followed him. How many of them are also lunatic? You know,
I doubt most
you know,
of them.
You see, like Willie Mack started the weekend making a video like us. Bad things happen to firemen because he made a poop. He's realizing he's right. Endless court. Like what?
What?
What? He's right that this poor fireman lost his life. Like these people are dumb. Dumb.
They're dumb.
And I want them all. I think I want to. It's easy to get abs out of them. But enjoy your, you know, $5,000 a month less or whatever it is. Sure, you'll be fine. Maybe it'll give you some time. Yep. FAFOX.
He gets kids though, and I don't. Gotta love it. He gets kids, but I don't.
What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from the live from dingy hotel room, about to head down to the RNC. I know my schedule out this best I can.
I'm not salty.
My live stream today will probably be from the RNC until like instead of back up and leave. $800 night hotel room. Absolute racket, price gouging, disgusting. It's insane. I shouldn't have to spend $4,000 for that. It's insanity. I know you guys like the coverage, especially the IRL stuff, and it sucks, dude. I was normally on $2 a night. Rude. Anyway, outside of that, great news yesterday. I can't find any new update on it, but there was somebody walking around wearing a ski mask yesterday, as well as a Scream mask, okay, like from the movie Scream, you know, with a tactical bag.
Gotta say big though.
Ready to rock.
He has a bag of bagels.
Can't find any news on it. What's going on? This is all I found is this. Okay, this was last night. I live here. I'm reaching out to my sources. What's going on with this guy? Like earlier in the day, there was some what I would say a lucky moment. Live here, you know. I King Park, Martin Luther King Park. Two gentlemen, scholars were arguing. One of them pulled a blade and happened to be passing by who was working at the army. Saw what was going down, stopped. The guy refused to drop it and ventilated. That's what happened. That is just a Milwaukee moment. Democrat City, by the way.
Good way of putting it.
100,000. This other story. By the way, I don't like how every major news outlet's like, all right, this is happening at the RNC. I like pulled it up and like, oh, dude, this is like 2 miles. Get it. But anyway, this is a little bit bigger of a story. Nothing. Details. I know it was like a little bit of stuff on Twitter. What we have here is potentially a mass event that was stopped. Man with a guess must have been like a mile down. What this weapon is, you know, variant, short variant. Is this what the kids call a chopper?
Kids these days call it chopper.
Capitol Police stopped a 20 suspect wearing a ski mask, also carrying a Scream, headed towards the RNC.
Basic top of the line VCR right there.
Monday evening, thousands RNC delegates and staff and other Republican supporters day one nation contest. While Trump himself, as well as his new running mate JD Vance, were inside, he encountered a man, mask, and a weapon outside, ready to go. By the way, I had a couple of mags that were
Mags.
Now, a 21-year-old man is in custody, evading charges after Milwaukee PD was stopped by Capitol Police on the street outside of the security perimeter, which extends for several blocks around the building. Yeah, it's like I want to be careful about giving any specific information. You're here, but like put it this way: long walk past about 1 million cops to get where you need. Killing me today too, and I'm not looking forward to that walk. But anyway, statement released the man was thought to be acting suspiciously. Yeah, it's 87 degrees and humid. Why is he wearing a black ski mask, wearing a larger tactical backpack on a sweltering, muggy city street? Milwaukee PD arrested 21-year-old carrying obviously 11th Street, 1200 block of 11th Street. This is probably 3 or 4 blocks outside. 5-minute walk. United States Capitol Police performed a subject stop, and it was determined that the suspect was concealing a backpack, does not have a seat. Shocking. Or any other state arrested and charged of pending review. I mean, sounds like me that they were going to. Here's the part that tells me they go and try to. On searching the individual, troubling discoveries were also made. In addition to his ski mask, carrying out as well as a mask styled as the horror movie / Scream. And if just one, have enough money to buy more than one? Like that's just I mean, what? Yeah, that's not really. I can't afford to carry around more. Officers with MPD told that, and obviously carry permit. Not that I think you could carry this anyway. You know, this is wild. I mean, the Scream mask is what makes it really weird. I wanted to originally report, hey, this is but the Scream mask kind of tells me they were coming to the event I was at, by the way. Here you have per federal law enforcement sources yesterday, HS&I, Capitol. This is
yeah, guys, meet your goals. I'll be back momentarily.
Mask in a large backpack. But why would you have done? Why would you have that? Why is there no update on it?
there too, Kara. Get down, Kara.
What does this individual look like? They look like they have fetal alcohol syndrome like the other guy? What's it with these people that are like, imagine, if you even come down anywhere near where I'm at, there are more cops and military personnel. Imagine putting a ski mask on first, walking down a street in 90-degree weather, and expecting, no one's really. You see, so what you're saying is they stopped to protect the mass event from happening at yeah. By the way, so much for the inflammatory rhetoric. All these signs are down here. I walked right past these on my way into the RC. There are good ways about outside of the security line, if I remember correctly. But yeah, we have obviously Dictator on day one. These trucks, all these LED sign trucks, parked out here in protest. What happened to turning the temperature down? It doesn't sound like the temperature is all. We're in summer, huge backpack walking, but how would they have ever detected such a master of stealth? Well, I'll tell you what. We could go to this past Saturday, and this guy was in and walking around with a rangefinder. Found out yesterday, 3 hours before the event.
I expect when you're dealing with idiots.
I don't know. I mean, on one hand, man, as somebody who was here, right, along with 50,000 other people, extremely thankful that they stopped this person. Does not seem like a Milwaukee bull. It could have been. Well, you have the tactical backpack and you have the mask. That seems odd. That part is definitely on. And then you can look, by the way, any no reports, very dangerous super sleuth, Robert Evans, is at the RNC. Not sure if the GOP vets their press applicants. Evans works closely, fundraises, and has put a target on Andy. Advocates all sorts of bad behavior here. He's been photographing and recruiting people at the RNC, 3 different sets of event staff. I've come over to our section, or fairly easy, to try to get us over to where I point in the video. So with the camera, worth noting on video is that's not true. I'm actually here. It was jam-packed. That's stupid idiot fake news. Hundreds of people are back in downtown. F them up, Phoenix is the guy. So this is a guy that is in the building, past security. That feels great. That's great. Why is he here? Maintaining close ties. I mean, dude, I had to pass Secret Service background check just to get in here. Guy, did he pass it? How does he have a press pass? By the way, I have already seen a lot of people being really casual with their passes.
Being cavalier.
Having it checked. I don't feel awesome. I feel great about. I feel really strong about outside, like in the exterior, but inside, I've got my head on a swivel. Always. Not exactly a nimble guy. So I've got my eyes darting around constantly, trying to stay frosty, trying to stay alert to what's going on around me. Obviously, the first event that was yesterday was a moment. This one does not seem like that. This seems like an actual potential many people lost their life. How many of these people are out there? how many of these people are out there? Like, seriously, I had family texting me, like, dude, you know, is it really worth it? You're just go home and cover. Yeah, that seems really good after, like, you know, like, it's wild, but nope, I'm going. I'll be there. People make. Hope you were informed by this video. Please subscribe or follow, and tune into my live streams.
Let's see here. Good. Here. Okay. Oops, didn't like that. Well, this isn't properly priced. I don't like that. Probably won't be using that. Sure.
Each year as well. So at the same time, you have a 1% total T drop, 2 to 3% free. This occurs, depends on age, lifestyle, but in general, 35, you can expect a little decline to start, but that's not to say I haven't seen 70-year-old total T sometimes. So you can certainly retain high-level production. I don't want to think, oh, now that my levels probably dropped +% at this point, I should probably get on TRT. May not be the case. So, in general, those are kind of general numbers of time that you can expect based on literature, but I think it's reasonable to assume that a lot of people can obtain good production as well. It's just a matter of how well do you produce gonadotropins, how you respond to the testes, because there is some level function that declines with age too, even in response to the gonadotropins. It's an expected outcome, unfortunately. But that's kind of where you get into the nuance of TRT justifiable for this, based on pituitary output, lifestyle, diet, nutrient intake, sleep hygiene, sleep apnea, etc., and then also actual testicular response. Because an argument to be made, if you have very good testicle response, you'll ever be on the natural signal even.
Is there an advantage to that? So I guess maybe before we get to that, let's talk about the rationale for TRT. So what do you think is the most compelling case for it, and how often are people, expanding that use case?
I think the most justified use for it is people who have primary hypogonadism. So that is when you have gonadotropins going to your testes, but you're just not responding to them. LH and FSH are. You'll see these as high in your blood work, but your total T is still blood. That could be somebody who is, you should probably check, do you have a varicocele, do an ultrasound of your testes, see where things are at structurally, functionally, etc., before you make any rash decisions. If it's something we're looking, you overlook certain structural abnormality, but it'd be rectified. That depends, but typically, testicular failure in response to adequate signaling would be like the obvious no-brainer, versus if you had low LH and FSH, maybe your testicles are fine. So why are you getting on testosterone? Maybe it's a lifestyle thing.
And so, typically when we see that pattern, the second pattern you described, which is low testosterone, but in the setting of low LH and FSH, the most obvious things that usually show up there are sleep, and basically high glucocorticoids, which can also suppress the pituitary.
Measure the glucocorticoid.
Saliva. Well, you would, usually urine. Saliva. Yeah, so using a Dutch test. Interestingly, those are not the easiest things to fix because people have to change behaviors, which is a lot harder than, taking a medication. So let's just say we go down the path. We believe that TRT is the right thing to do, and we believe that it's primary hypogonadism. What do we know about the dose response of testosterone? And do we think that it makes sense to use fixed dosing and increased dosing, or get to certain levels? Because again, most of the studies, and we might talk about the Traverse trial, they kind of just use fixed dosing, which is, at least for me, one of the criticisms of that, by the way, is especially when you're using something top, you have variable absorption. But what do we know about this?
Yeah, I think in general, like an accepted, if you're going to be treating with exogenous testosterone, accepted level dose that is on average safe and well tolerated will get you to a reasonable total T that provides symptom relief for the majority of people. I can't see a more logical start point than, for example, things a week or something of that nature, seeing what happens. This could also be, variable based on a super high SHBG. Should be evaluating that because maybe he just has a low free T instead of you could have brutal symptoms. Your production is still good. It's severely, and why is that the case? Severe liver issues or something. So after you flesh all that out and you determine the guy needs T, I would imagine a reasonable starting place is 200 a week, and then go from there, see how you respond.
And any advantage to dosing it once weekly, taking that dose and dividing it by 2 and doing it twice a week, taking that dose and dividing it by 7 and doing it every day?
Yeah, and I don't necessarily know that, for example, when patients come to you, I'm sure the highest level of organization, that's why they're with you. So maybe it's more reasonable to expect them to end more frequently, inject. But there is a half-life associated with the drug, depending on the ester chosen. Typically, testosterone cypionate will be prescribed. US is the prescribed one. This is a half-life of 10 days, if I recall. It depends on the person, of course. But that half-life, you could extrapolate out from that. Okay, it's going to take 50 days to achieve steady state serum concentration in blood. Look on a steroid plot, check online. It's kind of spiking until all of a sudden there is the same amount of dropping of the drug out of your system. You're getting an equal amount of spike back up, but there's accumulation of drug burden after you've achieved steady state serum concentrations. So the advantage to injecting more frequently, and this is going to be determined usually by patient adherence, anything, because some people simply refuse to inject even. I've seen some insane stuff. It's all dropped to literally hypogonadal territory. Remember, based on their dick not working. Okay, now I take my test. But in general, once a week is a minimum, I would say. That's certainly not optimal, and I would say that 2 times a week, at least for somebody seeking good quality site, preventative medicine, whatever, if they're coming to you, or to somebody who believes in the same things you do, twice a week I think is kind of minimum for decent, steady concentrations.
Yeah, we've sort of arrived at the same conclusion that that's the sweet spot. We do have a couple patients who do daily injections, and interestingly, in these patients we see much less for the same dose of testosterone that you take, like 15 milligrams injected a day, which is actually very difficult to do. You have to be very thoughtful about what kind of needles you're using to actually get such a small volume in. But they will have much less FSH-LH suppression, which suggests to me that the higher the peak, the more the FSH-LH suppression. I don't know that there's anything physiologically relevant to that, other than I think it's
the studies when you look at trough level T levels, I say concentrations after an injection. Oftentimes, these studies assessing dose response a week after your injection. So what you see in the literature isn't necessarily reflective of what in patients trying to optimize anyways. But what I see personally and in America Health that I've seen over the years, etc., the more frequent you get, there's a diminishing return. Sure, but you can lower the aromatization spike and 5-alpha reduction by going more frequent. So if you have a bolus administration, I don't know, 150 milligrams once a week, you are literally spiking your T into super physiological territory acutely, and concurrently you are getting version to ethyl DHT. You also have a very, very aggressive spike in free androgenic signaling, which can crank your sympathetic nervous system up, impair your sleep quality. Like, there's so many consequences people don't.
And you'll see more hematopoiesis.
Yeah.
So I had Mo Kara on here. He was talking about Natesto, which is nasal formulation, which has such a short half-life that it's actually a TID dosing schedule. So it's 7 milligrams of testosterone.
I want to see somebody take
3 times a day
for more than a year and still tell me it's cool and fun to take. So if you end up doing that for TR,
I probably will not. But his point was two interesting points with Natesto. The first is they don't have that hematopoiesis. So, these are not people who are making too many red blood cells that you have to actually be careful of. Have to go and get them therapeutically phlebotomized to take blood off them as their hematocrit gets over 50. Secondly, it's a FDA formulation that women use, right? Because if a guy is taking 7 milligrams in each nostril 3 times a day, clearly a woman can take one of those every other day. And by the way, it's sort of an on-demand lipid tool for particular. Yeah. So there are lots of interesting things around that. Also, they're doing a clinical study and sort of observing what they're doing, where women are using intravaginal use. One application of that intravaginally, sex, to enhance orgasmic function. So again, pretty. It's always desirable to have an FDA formulated when you can kind of avoid the dark side of view.
I think the best way to conceptualize for the listener why this frequent protocol or getting a more stable level, even why does it result in side effect burden 2? It's the closest you can replicate natural function, you will replicate natural side effect profile, which should be nothing if you are physiologic. So with Natesto, which is like in and out acutely so fast, we're not getting this huge spike to 1500 deciliter total speed. There's no situation ever in which your testes would blast you once a week with a hammer of test and all of the associated metabolites and consequences of that. You would have little pulsations or diurnal rhythm. This is why your blood is natural in the morning. You're just spiking. It's ebb and flow. Hey, your test level in the morning could be 300 nanograms per higher than later in the day. It fluctuates. So to expect that it's reasonable to jam yourself with an absurd amount of test in one go and then hang on that as it declines as your blood, make it to the stratosphere again week, it's just not representative of the physiologic state whatsoever. So that you can replicate that diurnal rhythm, the synthetic administration route, to get to a lower side effect burden. Like, I've seen some guys that get gynecomastia, TRT dosages, go to ED everyday dosing, and get off their AI. That's how significant.
Yeah. So just to translate that into English, you've seen guys who can take a weekly dose of testosterone, and in doing so, they make so much estrogen that they have to take an androgen inhibitor, an aromatase inhibitor, to prevent them from getting breast tissue gynecomastia. Yeah. And if they take that same dose and divide it daily, they can come off their aromatase inhibitor.
Yeah, and some people it's problematic because they will give feedback to their doctor or just give a judgment to what hormone therapy was like for them based on what is maybe not the right dose, but also just not even close to ideal dosing regimen, injection frequency.
When I
not even close.
got back in the practice of medicine and was learning about HRT, I couldn't find doctors who weren't prescribing anything different than twice every 2 weeks. That was the standard.
It's in the European system.
I mean, it's just No, I have not. But so
Dude,
the standard dose was 200 milligrams every 2 weeks, and which immediately I remember going through Llewellyn's pharmacology and looking at the pharmacokinetics and being like, this is an awful idea. So yeah, any difference clinically between cypionate and enanthate? Obviously, one of the advantages of enanthate is there's a commercial product called Zyosted for people who are squeamish about injecting. It comes in a preloaded pen. So we have some patients who just don't like the idea of having to draw up a syringe, and they just kind of want something that's a little more turnkey. So Zyosted, which is a slightly different with testosterone, but clinically, I sort of remember at one point there was some difference that might be age specific, but I don't recall.
Yeah, the half-life. Enanthate is often thought to be a long ester, which it is relative to phenylpropionate, but it's kind of like an in-between of cypionate and propionate. Half-life of maybe as short as 4 to 5 days, I believe, off the top of my head, whereas cypionate can be twice as long. So it depends on your individual metabolism of the drug, often. So, and also if you're putting sub-Q or IM, like you can beat out the effect more. So I would say if you're injecting frequently enough, it's essentially irrelevant. But with these auto-injector pens,
which is typically the auto-injected, the Zyosted protocol from the FDA is once weekly, which is actually, I mean, we still recommend people do it twice a week.
Yeah, like
just use a lower dose.
The difference of not using your supposed to take versus using it, like obviously frequency is of a lesser concern than walking around with no test. So if it's the difference,
Alright, guys,
that
is it for today.
Take your
Always, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real
I don't know
fun.
if it's loaded
See you all
dose.
tomorrow.
You can't
Deuces.
modulate.
You can't meter it. That's what's so annoying about